Good evening, everybody. It's Mr. First Down here. We're about to jump into Fanboys Unleashed. We get to cover another preseason win for the Tennessee Titans. Let's get into it.
Hey, let's have ourselves a show.
Nothing like some fiddle playing for your Sunday evening. Good evening, everybody. Once again, I am Sam Dean, a.k.a. Mr. First Down. Happy to talk some Titans with you here tonight. The Titans beat the Seahawks 16-15 in a preseason game, and you can take that for what you will. Some people don't like preseason. Some people do. I think you can glean some things from it, but it's important not to get overexcited. Let's go. Titans suck. Thank you, Hot Take City. I don't think your Giants are far behind that. I think we're in the same barrel. That's how you want to be. We'll see how everything is, Hot Take. I can totally understand that sentiment because a lot of people have it. Good to see you, brother. Good to see you. Anyway, I'm flying solo tonight. Look at this. The duality of Hot Take, right? He's so complex. Love you too, bud. Absolutely. I do love me some Hot Take City. He is a great follow on Twitter. You should totally follow him. He is a ton of fun. Love that guy. Anyway, Titans beat Seahawks 16-15. We had a walk-off field goal by a man, and I'm going to make this name right. What's his name? Braden Narvison. I think he's out of North Carolina. That didn't tell me on the little sheet. But this kid kicked a 59-yard field goal and then a 49-yard field goal to finish it up, and when the 46-yard field goal, to finish the game. And it got people to start talking about it. Is Nick Folk going to be our guy? Or is this guy going to be our guy? If you listen to Brian Callahan in the press conference afterwards, he made it pretty clear that Nick Folk is not in any danger of being replaced right now. Now, I think it's important to keep this because some people want to speculate and make a lot of things about it, a lot of them, okay? People say, well, this guy is the future. How many years has Nick Folk got? I understand that sentiment, but if you look at Easton Freeze and some other people, a lot of the local reporters on Twitter, they said, trust me, Nick Folk is the guy you want to go with. And that is because they are seeing stuff at practice. Maybe this guy has a penchant for not being able to hit on certain hashes. Maybe this guy has a penchant for just kicking straight and not at an angle, and he can't figure out how to do wind distances. Maybe this guy's kick trajectory is a little lower. I'm not saying it's not impressive. I just think people that are there that are telling us to cool our jets a little bit, we should probably listen to them because these people know football. I like to think I know football too, but, I'm not there every day in training camp seeing what's going on. It's an important distinction to remember, not just for my team, but on all the other teams you see. So, hell of a night for Braden Narvison. Great. Love to see it. If he is our kicker of the future, sure. But I think the coach is right. I think we're going to stick with Nick Folk. Yeah. Old man Nick Folk gets the job done. The other thing to talk about is Malik Willis, and this is kind of a thing of contention because there are a lot of people that think Malik Willis didn't get a fair shot. I am of the opinion that he has been given a fair shot, and he hasn't earned enough to get to play with the ones and whatnot. We've seen this guy play in prime time, and we always get these weird excuses from people that love to say, well, it was the offense that broke him. It was this that broke him. It was that broke him. If he was really as good as you guys want him to be, he would have figured out a way to win some of these games. But the fact is, he stares down wide receivers. They don't coach him to do that. He hesitates to throw. They don't coach him to do that. He's just he was always going to be a project walking in, guys. It's obvious that Mason Rudolph is going to play. It is obvious that Mason Rudolph is the backup to Will Levis. It is obvious when you watch that game last night that Mason Rudolph just throws the ball a lot better, makes better decisions, doesn't throw it too high. Mason Rudolph is the backup of this team. Sooner you accept that, I think the better off you will be. And the good news is I think he's one of the better backups in this league. I really do. He's won games for Pittsburgh. He's had to start for Pittsburgh. He's had to come in and win games for Pittsburgh in crunch time with 2 minutes left on the clock. He can get it done. Absolutely. The other thing I want to get to is we have Nick Westbrook-Akina out there, NWI as we like to call him, and not Traylon Burks. It seemed a little weird unless they just think Traylon Burks is going to take this roster spot and move with it. Are they planning to cut NWI? It would be fascinating if they do. I'm of the opinion that we've held on to NWI too long, and surely we could have drafted somebody better or found some depth player better, because that's what he is. He's a depth wide receiver player. That's not necessarily a bad thing. So I do think he was getting kind of pounded a little bit in the back and everything. Joe Rexero talked about the disrespect about it, but he did catch a nice touchdown, a nice throw by Mason Kinsey to get it in there. Beautiful. I was trying to see the stats for you because I don't want to tell everybody wrong. A 15-yard pass from Mason Rudolph into the end zone. Good stuff there. Like to see it. Like to see Mason Kinsey. Oh, by the way, not Mason Kinsey, Mason Rudolph. For all you Mason Kinsey fans out there, I love the guy. I'm not as crazy as some of you are that believe this guy should be our starting slot receiver, but he is a player. He had a broken pinky and he was playing in that game. That's tough, okay? And when you have to catch balls with your hands and whatnot and grip the football, I mean, a broken pinky could make a big difference. And he's out there blocking. He's out there catching. I love it. The things I don't like, there's a whole long list in my life of things I don't like. Like there's a list in all of our lives. But when it comes to this team, yesterday's game was the penalties began to show up. Dumb false starts, there's a whole heaping list of them. Dumb false starts, dumb defensive penalties, grabbing onto the jersey, stuff like that. You didn't have it in the first game. You have it in this game. And it's probably a lot of the depth players trying to, show off a little bit. Poor Trey Avery, man. That guy gets out there, and every single time he does. And if you see the demeanor of this kid and how hard he works, you want to root for him. But, he just gets burnt constantly, and I feel so bad over and over. It's just sometimes these guys just, don't get it. They have all the athletic ability, and they think they can get by with it. A lot of that is college. It's pounded into their heads. I like Trey Avery, but he's a liability when he gets out there on the field. It's just not going to work. It's not going to work at all. There are a lot of things that I take away from this game as far as offensive philosophy and whatnot. I'm enjoying these long passes to the tight end. We've seen that before. Maybe that's kind of a staple. We saw it back with Delaney Walker. We've seen it with Frank Wycheck. We've seen it with no-name guys that we hardly ever see again. They are it's great having a great tight end. But I tell you, I love seeing that because I'm an old school Titan fan. You know what I love more? Watching these slot receivers catch this ball and make moves. It's fantastic. I love it. I love it. It was also great to see what kind of depth you are going to have behind your starters. That's what this game was. Because all of the starters, we had some grueling practices with the Seahawks leading up to this game. And Callahan made the decision to go and throw in these guys, give them a lot of training and whatnot. But you can start to see that the roster is going to take shape. It's looking like Dylan Radins now is going to be your starting right guard for better or worse. It is looking right now that, oh, goodness, I always hate trying to remember these guys. Nicholas Petitfier, NPF, will be your starting right tackle. They didn't dress. It looks like it's pointing that direction. We see the local reporters saying it's looking like it's pointing that direction. So I think that will complete the O-line. I don't think that's a terrible choice all that you have. You do have one of the best offensive line coaches in Papa Callahan. Because I mean, and by the way, what an enjoyable thing, right? I would love for my dad to be there for my big achieving moments in my life, especially in a pressure filled career like that. You have your dad by you. Your dad's going to stick with you through everything. He's family. And what an awesome thing that he gets to have that. That's terrific. I wish him nothing. I wish Brian Callahan nothing but the best for his first year. And I hope he can start off strong because, y'all, I am sick and tired of losing the first game of the season every year. It drives me crazy. I don't know why we can't do it. It's going to be interesting because the Bears are a giant question mark walking in. We are a giant question mark walking in. It's going to be interesting. And if you're going to try to do something with this team, they need to overachieve and they need to win some games. I don't know if this team is built for a shootout. They kind of look like it with the people they signed, but it all depends on Brian Callahan's play calling and Will Levis's ability to do it. Last preseason game is going to come up soon. I'm not sure who it'll be against, but it's coming up. And let's see. Titans schedule. I'll go ahead and tell you who they're fighting. Who they're playing. It looks like it's the Saints. Okay. So the Saints, August 25th at 1 p.m. on a Sunday at the Saints. So down in New Orleans. How fun. Go down in the Big Easy. Try to win because Brian Callahan has said winning in these preseason games are important. There are important things to do. So, and Will Levis echoed that. And I'm sure it's for a team that didn't win a lot last year. It does feel good to win, even if it is preseason, and it doesn't matter. He says you're going to see the starters on the third preseason game, maybe 3 series or so. It's interesting. I find that very interesting to me. I would think it was after the grueling practice, whatever, that we had seen what we needed to see, and we can move on. Apparently, not the case. Not the case. They're gonna play a series or 2 or 3, and maybe that's for the best. Maybe it's not. But I do know that this offense is way more complicated and complex for this team to grasp and get going. The one thing I just need fixed before the season starts, the one thing I need is Ridley and Levis to get on the same page. Because I'm tired of reading stuff about them being off target with each other, not knowing. We have Ridley admitting, well, I just didn't run fast enough, blah, blah, blah. But doesn't in the back of your mind think, like, is this planned? Are they just acting like they don't know what they're doing? Not that really – that's kind of a poor way of putting it. Not that they really don't know what they're doing, but, like – look like, oh, we just can't get the deep pass down. Some part of me thinks that players are playing the long game there. I don't know why. At least maybe I'm just hoping they're playing the long game there. Anyway, exciting finish. I wish I could have gone to the game. The beautiful sunset was there. There were some bats apparently flying around. Zap Girl was talking about. You hire Hot Take City asked if you hire on Pollard or Spears. I am higher on Spears. I think he's going to get the majority of the catches and runs. The days of running the football 80 times a game over and over, they're done. They're done. Spears is good at catching the football, so is Pollard. Spears is going to be running back 1. I would be very surprised if he isn't. However, it wouldn't surprise me if they switch it up a game or 2. I think predominantly, if you look at like all the games through the season, Spears will be the RB1. But you'll have a game or 2 where Pollard is RB1. I see setups where they have a running back on each hip, and they do the safety net throws to them. I'm used to seeing them go to tight ends. I think we all are to some degree. But yeah, I think Spears is numero uno in running backs. Yeah. I think he's going to be – I have a lot of faith in Spears. I think he is going to be the top fantasy player on this team. But boy, would be nice if you see all these wide receivers start catching wind and whatnot. Okay, coming up, you have the Saints August 25th. I imagine you'll probably I'm not sure what Dennis Allen's going to have his starters out there or not. We're going to have them out there for a little bit. I doubt it's all the starters, though. I think you'll see Levis for a little bit, but I would be a little concerned about throwing my starting offensive line out there. I need those guys nice and healthy for week 1 in Chicago. It is absolutely necessary. Absolutely necessary. I look forward to it. If there's no more questions or anything in chat, and I do not see any at this moment, happy Sunday evening. Rest up. We got a long work week ahead of us. Stay hydrated for all those in hot weather, though. It's so funny in Tennessee right now. It's going to drop down to the 80s, and we're like, oh, it's finally cooling off. The 80s are cooling off instead of the high 90s and 100 or whatever. Strange weather. And it poured down rain last night pretty hard. So, and it kind of brought some cooler air down here, and I appreciate it. I'm sure the guys on the practice field appreciate it as well. Anyway, I hope you all have a wonderful evening. And if I could share any wisdom to you, it would be this. We see on Twitter all the time a lot of negativity, right? And people say their opinion, and another person has to bring down that opinion, name calling, whatever else. If you really want your point to get across with me, have a civil conversation. Don't make it personal, okay? Now, like, your friends are your friends. If you want to rib each other, that's all fine and dandy. Because ask Hot Take City, we most certainly do. Predominantly them. But if you're actually trying to have a conversation with somebody, think about a couple of things first. One, are they mature enough to have a conversation about this? Or two, are they going to change their mind if you present them with, like, real facts? Because if they're not, there's no point to having the conversation. Just think about that. I don't think our time should be spent typing on Twitter back and forth with somebody. Now, I know plenty of trolls and stuff enjoy that. That is not my cup of tea. But I think we can spend our time doing better things in life. So, thank you all for watching. This is Sam Dean, a.k.a. Mr. First Down, wishing you a happy work week ahead. Hope you get it done quickly. And tighten up, because it's right around the corner. We'll see you soon.